Hello, this is Geoff Antonio from the Geoff Antonio Show, and today I have a very special guest. Please welcome Josh and Elisabeth from LMSUKMedia. How you doing, guys?
Very well, thank you.
Fantastic. I'm very excited to talk to you both.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. How are you?
Oh, I'm great. Just living the dream. This has been one heck of a year, hasn't it?
Oh,
Very
indeed. Crazy but good.
It has been a little bit crazy, but crazy can be fun and inspiring, right?
100%.
100%. Couldn't agree more.
Awesome. So yeah, I'd like to know about your company, what you guys do, and your beginnings. So, to start off, take me back for both of you. When did your musical journey start, where you felt a strong connection to music growing up?
For me, I've been going to like the major UK festivals since I was probably 12, 13. My parents used to take me to. And my love of music kind of grew from there. And back in the day, I probably liked quite awful music. I think I bought like Girls Aloud and stuff, my first degree. It's growing to improve a little bit. How about you, Beth?
Yeah, I think it sounds funny, but my love of music's definitely come from like my dad and my family, and kind of there's so many songs that I listen to now, and I'm like, oh, it's weird. I love Green Day. I'm literally obsessed, and bands like that. And it's all come from car journeys with my dad, and it's completely different to what my friends have grown up with. But I think that's the magic of it. You kind of take things down, and then you kind of build your own music taste. But yeah, the local kind of music around where we are is just it's just amazing. And I think when you grow up around that, you develop a really kind of good sense of what good music is and what you love. So yeah, for me anyway.
For sure, for sure. It definitely helps to be in a good music town. And then also, too, like you're saying, your family growing up with great musical influences and kind of getting that spark at a young age.
Mm.
100%.
Absolutely. So take me, past there. I mean, after, you kind of were growing up and listening to your favorite tracks, your favorite artists, and then, of course, checking out the festivals, where did you go to from there in your music journey?
So I was at college and I was running another business selling t-shirts. And the person I was with, Fernando, kept bringing more and more people in. So I was like, no, I'm going to do my passion. I'm going to start LMS UK Media. And I was 17 at the time. And I just wanted to be backstage at festivals and gigs. And we were literally writing blogs and stuff like that for local artists. And that's why our original name was Local Music Scene. And now it's grown to like a substantial business with 25 members of staff now. We've got clients internationally, and that's because of this girl Beth, who's grown our business so massively in the last year. So it's been amazing.
Wow. That's fantastic.
I mean, for me, it is great. Josh is too nice, honestly. But for me, I kind of from school onwards, I went through kind of doing those like school performances, and you do the kind of normal thing that everyone else does. And then I kind of gave it a rest for like 2 years. I didn't do anything. Just listening to music, going to a couple of gigs, like enjoying that sort of thing. And then Josh popped up, actually start of lockdown, and was like, would you be interested in kind of coming into social media and doing the music marketing and that sort of thing? And I was like, do you know what? It's kind of time for a change and time to get back into something that I love so much. So that's kind of where I went from. And ever since then, it's just been so nice because you meet so many small artists and then you hear their stories and then you get to work with them and then they progress. And it's just one of those things, it is really lovely. And then you also get the opportunities of kind of speaking to larger artists and hearing the stories from Josh about who he's met. And it's a lovely, lovely thing to be a part of. So I can't complain in any way, shape or form. It's been lovely.
That is awesome. So take me to like one of the first artists that you work with. I mean, where were they at in their music career at the time, and where did you take them?
We started with some artists called Arcade Hearts, who are doing kind of small UK tours now. Wildfront, who are massive. They're doing all the major festivals, and they're in Europe, in the US. And a band that later became Hallen, which are like doing well on BBC Radio 1, and they're Portsmouth based. And we did like a little South Coast tour, Brighton, Southampton, Winchester, and so on and so forth. And it was actually really successful, and that's kind of really gave some the big step up in the events, because we thought, right, you know, we're plucky 18, 19-year-olds. We've pulled this off. Why not go bigger? And we managed to do that after.
Wow. Wow, that's great. So I mean, what was it like to book that first tour? Were there big challenges, or what were some of the things that came up?
You know, like when we do a show now, I have to really kind of think about the theory behind it. Are we going to sell enough? Will enough people come? Back in those days, I was like, yeah. Any opportunity that came to me, let's do it. Let's go. I didn't think about risk. I didn't think about money. It was just pure enjoyment. I was like, road trip to Brighton with my mates, put on a show. Let's do it. And it, you know, very luckily it was a success, and that was because of the quality of artists we, brought in. But we've done my first year of doing this. There was probably 4 events we did, and I kid you not, Geoff, there's more people on stage than in the audience, and that is not a good year. And you'd have your friends and family go like, what are you doing? Like, you'll be successful, but do something else. Like, there's no point doing this. Give up now. I had all of it from really, really close people, and just made that hunger and that desire more, and we learned a lot of lessons on the way to get where we are now.
Wow. Wow. Yeah, I think, everybody in the business has had that experience of, just like you said, having more people on the stage than the audience. And you know what? I think the great thing about it is it has a lot of character building, and even in my days of performing where, I might have had a big crowd or might have had a small crowd, sometimes people would come to me and say, Geoff, I mean, there was maybe 20 people in the audience tonight, but you rocked it like you were at Wembley. And, but it's great to see the growth, because sometimes you gotta build it before it shows up. So, how did you transition from, starting off that way and building the crowds?
We just challenged ourselves, went for bigger shows, went for bigger venues, got loans out. And for me, we used to kind of, our catchphrase is, you make the music, we'll do the rest. So we were running social media accounts, we were doing blogs, we were doing records, we were doing everything. And we were just saying yes to all these opportunities. And then we kind of went back to basics and went, right, what are we actually good at? Okay, we're good at events and we're good at social media management. So we kind of progressed the events up quite naturally, being in the cities we are on the south of England. A lot of opportunities for growth. There's definite steps up, and we took that and wanted to get out of our city and do other things which people might be a bit scared of. And then for the social media management side, I needed someone ambitious who wanted to learn, ask questions, and kind of push it a lot further. And that's exactly what Beth did. Beth came into the business at the start of lockdown, which was the worst time you'd have thought. And we were only a team of 6 or 7 back then.
Yeah, very small.
And because of the demand and how much Beth grew it out, we've now got a team of nearly 25. And it was just spotting the demand. Like, you imagine going into a lockdown and thinking, right, we can't put any events on now. That's like most of our income stream. And then you have someone like Beth in a high senior kind of management level who can come in and implement that amount of demand. I've never experienced that in my time.
Yeah, I think it's really key to mention as well with the COVID situation with the event side. Like, we were doing so well, and I've known Josh kind of through Facebook and Instagram, and I've seen all the events and been like, wow, that's awesome. And as soon as lockdown hit, I was like, what are they going to do? Like, who is doing this? And we've adapted so much, the event side of the team, and I think that's why we work so well, is we all communicate between teams. The social media side and the events, some people never talk to each other because it's just not needed, but we're so kind of integrated together. We work kind of speaking to Ben, who's the head of the events. It's just, we all try and get it together and kind of adapting to the new way. It's just like live streams and watching and pay tickets online. People were like, that's never going to happen. No one's ever going to want to pay for that. But if you put your favorite artist on stage and you promote it well enough, people are going to come and they're going to watch. So it's just something, I feel really excited to be part of this new kind of like era of live streaming and all that sort of thing. And I can't wait to get the marketing team on it and get working with it, really. So
That is so awesome. So I mean, it's great that you both kind of you saw the challenge of COVID, and I mean it's intimidating for I mean in many different types of businesses, but especially live music. So have you been able to keep things going so well with the lockdown and the restrictions and keeping people interested in the live music?
Yeah, we've done weekly live streams. We're still doing now, and they're still going. We've always we had so many shows booked, so they've been delayed. But as well as that, we've been looking to book more on, and we've booked Portsmouth Guildhall, which is I think the second biggest venue south of London, because you can do big shows socially distanced in there. So we've got them booked for as soon as February. And we're really in trying to progress that. But on our social media, if you go on LMSUKMedia, it's all about how can we help local artists for free, just for free. How can we help them? We give them tips on our Instagram. We add value by doing that. And then when people go, okay, right, I've spent 30 hours writing a single, but I spent 3 minutes promoting it, and they wonder why it's fallen on deaf ears, that's when they come to us. That's when we get the inbound leads, and that's when Beth and her fantastic team, I kid you not, any single one of Beth's team are unbelievable in terms of running social media, getting opportunities for small artists. And that's why we've seen the boom, because people recommend us, people share us. And I think with a service of a business, either you would use it again and recommend it, or you wouldn't come back. And what we're seeing is a lot of people recommend us and stay with us for a long time.
and a lot of the part of the kind of team success, I think, and why we've progressed so well through COVID is not only because of the drive that Josh and I both have to kind of improve the local music scene, because it's not easy on young artists, young, small artists, how they must have seen COVID and gone, well, this is it. And my career's over. I'm not going anywhere for, a year, 2 years. And we don't know still. We don't know what it's going to be like. But all of my team members on the coordinator side and the account specialists, they all love music, and most of them are musicians themselves. So they really feel that pain and kind of really want to help everyone else. And I think that part of it is really key and really successful. And you don't have to be a musician. I sing, but I'm not in any way perfection.
You can sing.
But it helps kind of me be put myself in their shoes and go, oh my God, they must be really struggling. I want to make sure that we can keep Portsmouth scene alive, South Coast, kind of keep it going. So for me anyway.
Yeah, it's so interesting what you guys are doing, because you bring up a lot of really good points. First off is that, I mean, I guess there's a disadvantage to COVID, but then there's kind of an advantage. And from what you're telling me, I see it in the music side as well, because, I mean, as a society, we've already kind of been progressing towards just everything being online, or always having that as kind of a part of the medium. And with COVID, do you feel like maybe it kind of pushed us a little bit extra towards a direction that we were already kind of going towards?
Yeah,
I think the industry on the whole has not changed much in the last 50 years. I mean, you buy a ticket, you go to a show, it gets scanned, you go in, you watch a show, you leave, you buy some merch maybe. That system has not changed for a long, long time. And if anything, COVID with the introduction of technology is going to change all of that forever. Because if you're a major festival, let's take Reading Festival, you can only fit 100,000 people at your site. Online, if you're streaming that, you could sell that worldwide, millions. It's opening up a massive opportunity. And for us, we've just seen COVID as, okay, musicians can't play live, but more people on their phones and laptops than ever. What a fantastic opportunity to engage with people that aren't around you or in different countries. And that's what I've been so shocked about. Our clients, we've only concentrated on helping local artists to us, and we're getting people from Australia, from America, from Paris. We're having artists that don't even speak English songs at the moment signing up to us. I mean, that's how global it's got, and it's insane. And me and Beth were speaking, I think, a couple of weeks ago, and we're like, right, we really want a good expansion into the US, Canada kind of markets. And we just paused for a second and went, this is nuts. who would have thought about this 12 months ago? This is insane.
Right.
But I think that's where we have an advantage, where our heart's in a good place. It's not about money. It is, can we help this musician? Can we invest in ad budgets? Can we reach their goals? And we have an intensive onboarding session to find out really what they want. At the heart of the service, what do they want to get out of it?
Wow. Wow. You guys have a lot of depth and soul. So tell me a little bit about the onboarding process. I mean, it sounds like, you know, you probably want to be on the same page with the strategy and also too what the music means to the artist and what they're trying to say. I mean, tell me a little bit about that.
So when an artist signs on, one of Beth's teams, an account specialist and a coordinator will go through their social media. Okay, and we'll pick out things they can improve. We'll give them positives about what they're doing well, but we'll give them things to improve. Musicians are artists. They're not social media marketing. They haven't got a degree in marketing. That's where we come in. We give them a questionnaire, and there'll be things like, what's your favorite artist? What's your favorite venue? What's your favorite record label? Where would you want to be in 5 years? Now, that's really key. That's really good information because people don't realize the power of social media. I can jump on LinkedIn and I can find my favorite band, Arctic Monkeys, and I can find out their manager, their tour, whoever organized their tour, their sounding, their light. I've got their whole team. I message them. There's probably about a 75% chance they'll actually reply to me on LinkedIn as a professional, which is amazing because it unlocks loads of information for me that I've never heard before. So we're actively encouraging artists to get onto LinkedIn, create artist page. Beth's actively encouraging our artists and our clients to get on TikTok because a record label will sign a local artist if they have 100,000 streams, but no one seems to know that a TikTok view counts as a stream. You have a few videos up on TikTok, you've got enough. Yeah. I mean, that's how quickly the marketing world is changing. And I don't want musicians and the music industry on the whole to be left behind. And that's why we want to lead the UK to start with and potentially even globally in that area.
Yeah, I think with TikTok especially, and with a lot of the artists that we get in, a lot of the time when people make a video on TikTok, they don't expect it to go viral and they're never really that prepared for it. And, the people that do tend to prepare for it tend to get let down. And we're just like, look, make a piece. It can be whatever you want. If it's fun, it's fun. So what? And if it goes anywhere, it goes somewhere. And I think that in the UK anyway, there's quite a lot of stigma around TikTok. It can be a little bit cringy and like a little bit dodge, and some people don't like it. And I'm like, look, but you're putting yourself out there. You're a beautiful musician, just do it. Just take the step and do it, and you'll be successful. And a lot of the time, they don't take the step, and we're like, please. But we do have artists, and Josh has friends who are on TikTok who have seen the results of the streams, and it's insane. And it's one of the only apps on social media that you can go viral on overnight. You can't go viral on Facebook overnight. It doesn't happen. But TikTok is this magical app that can do it. So we really recommend it from our side anyway.
Oh, for sure.
We use case studies as well. Like Beth said, I have a friend called Finn Draper who's a fantastic musician, played shows for us. Just your average guy. Went onto TikTok and literally overnight, he's got well over 1 million followers on Instagram, on all his accounts now. Just crazy. Loan. So we show artists and they go, oh, okay, right, we'll take it a bit.
Yeah, I mean, that's crazy how TikTok has become such a force in music, and but it helps. And all the videos that are uploaded, especially by the teenagers, if it's got a hot track in it, even if they're doing something funny, people are Shazamming that track and finding out who that is.
Absolutely.
Yeah, like my playlist is full of TikTok songs. Like I can't even, and you see the artists when they make a TikTok, they're like, oh my God, my thing got to 1 million streams. And you're like, damn, like it's amazing. You feel like we're kind of helping in a way. But yeah, like I would say like probably half of my new recently added is TikTok songs. So
yeah, it's a powerful site for sure. And yeah, I could see how an artist could break quickly. But yeah, I really like your methodology. It seems like you really try to understand the artist and also to kind of help the artists understand themselves kind of moving forward. Would you say?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, we want the artists. We don't just do the marketing for them. So an artist will sign to us. And yes, we're running their socials. Yes, we're doing their marketing. But at the same time, we're teaching them. We want them to learn. And what will happen is if they're learning, they'll get inquisitive and ask us questions. Now, when they're asking questions, we're improving our service because we know what's the next step. And like I said, it's so fast moving that we need to keep in touch with that. And if clients are coming, can we do this? Can we do that? Can we do this? We'll almost fail our way to success because the service is getting better and better and better. And that's kind of what we've seen in the last few months. And I literally mean from month to month, we're getting stronger and better.
I just think to mention as well, from when we're tracking our progress, like from month to month, we have these calls like every Sunday, every week. And for like the past 3 months especially, Josh has just started every single general call being like, guys, it's insane growth again. Like it's insane again. And it's fantastic. But I think one reason we are on the onboarding sessions, when we're talking to clients, we kind of figure them out within the first 10 minutes of the onboarding. You know, we'll work out, and I have a team of coordinators that we would assign to a client. And I think I would like to say that we do a very good job of picking which client should go with which coordinator, because it really needs to be, you need to have a good match. You need someone that's going to understand the artist in full, otherwise it just doesn't work. And I would like to say that as the head of the B2B side, we do a really good job of that. And that's why we can be so successful and so transparent with our clients, because transparency is key, and just showing that we want to help. This is all we want to do, is we just want to help you. So yeah.
Wow. Your approach kind of reminds me of, you know, it's kind of old school and new school because of the technology, but it's also old school, kind of what I used to hear about Warner Brothers in the 70s and 80s. They were a label that really understood the artist and complied with the artist's vision instead of kind of trying to do an artist makeover. Sounds like the same thing.
Yeah, I've worked with a lot of artists who are in horrible record deals because it's the first one they've got and they've just signed it because they're a local artist. They've lost all creative control in terms of what they're doing. And again, like even when they're past our service and maybe they don't want to stay on anymore, they've been signed by, you know, Sony Music, whoever it may be. We make a conscious effort just to go, right, if you ever need help with your contracts or anything like that, just send it over to us. Doesn't matter if you're with us or not, we care. We want you to do well. You reflect our business. You know, we're more than happy to kind of look over stuff like that. It happens all the time. And it's something we care about. I think that's the difference. We just care. I genuinely care about everyone that's signed on. I genuinely want them to all grow. And I think that's a major difference between us. And I do think we've got a little bit of a niche. I don't think there's many people out there doing what we're doing.
Absolutely.
And also with talking about, we're in a new kind of age of mental health and people opening up about their mental health issues. And there's less of a stigma around male mental health, which I think is fantastic. And we basically talk to the clients and we're like, if you're ever overwhelmed, especially with this new we had a recent lockdown again, and obviously it's not financially great for the smaller artists. And we were just like, if you guys are struggling, our door is always open, you know, give us a ring, give us a bell. It's totally just talk to us, because if we can help someone, you know, feel a little bit better and go, okay, well, if you're struggling this month, you know, we can help you out. And I think that's why artists kind of, they feel like they can talk to us and they can rely on us. And it's a lovely feeling as well, because we have the same with the staff. And everyone just knows that if you have an issue, you're not feeling well one day, you're overwhelmed, just talk to us. And we like to think that we are open enough and be like, yeah, okay, that's fine. Everything's fine. And that's something I think a few of the older businesses potentially are missing out on, is just care and that new kind of opening up with your mental health and just being very like clear and transparent about it.
Yeah, instead of, you know, we created a welfare document recently. Instead of doing it internally, we've done one externally. Like, why are we not helping our artists with this? I think a business will only care about their own staff, but, you know, we've got a much more bigger responsibility in terms of looking after our clients as well. And that's really spot on. And funny enough, one of my favorite books is a book called Smart Luck. And Smart Luck says in there, it says how a male running a business is great because they'll scale quickly, but a female running a business will care for the people. And we've got a fantastic business in the UK called Lush, and that's run by females, and the whole management board, I believe, is female, and they don't care about money, but they've done so well and grown so big because the second you go into a Lush store, the service is impeccable. I mean, literally impeccable. And we're very privileged to have Beth come onto the management team. We've also got another female called Lisa, who's our operations manager. And this is what Beth's saying. Every single week, I'm calling like, God, what a week this has been. And it's been like that for months, because the improvement is fantastic. And from top to bottom of my business and the organization we have, I would hire every single person again if I had the opportunity. Like,
Wow.
genuine, every single person. And like, it's a fantastic place to work. And I hate the word employees. No one's an employee, they're a team member. Um, and yeah, I mean, every time I speak to Beth, she's so excited and happy with her team and what they produce every week. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, I do think as well with the girls, like obviously a lot of times as a female working in business or a female in general just getting a job, you know, there you can be scared of that like dominant male figure, you know, the patriarchy or that sort of thing. And like I have never worked with a better group of lads. And when I first joined LMS, there was all guys, apart from the promotional side, but it was all guys. And I was a bit like, oh no, I'm having palpitations, I'm scared, what's going to happen? And Josh was so lovely, and then was like, hey, we should get some more girls in here. And I just work with the most amazing team ever. And I've got a few girls on my team, and they're not scared to say whatever they want to say to the boys. And it's just such an amazing working environment, and everyone plays off each other and they play off the strengths. And the girls, I have to say, boss the organization. Like the organization is skilled, but also the boys are fantastic. And it's just there's no barrier. It's not like, okay, this is a female member of staff and this is a male member of staff. We know our strengths, we know our weaknesses, and we just take it as a team, one by one, working together to perform best as a whole company.
We're very transparent. For instance, we love ideas. We want in people to always, every week, encourage ideas. How can we improve? And Holly on the event side she's massive about kind of female equality, especially in the music industry, because she's had so many experiences of males kind of saying how it is, doing it their way or no way. If you don't like it, get out, and all this kind of stuff. And I've really worked with Holly quite a lot recently, and so is Lisa. And she's rolling out our safe spaces. So every music venue we're going to work in from now on in will be considered a safe space. We'll have lanyards on our staff to teach with anyone that, you know, if a male was making someone feel uncomfortable, we're going to sort it out. We're going to put posters across the venues. And we're also going to teach the venues, after we've left, can you implement this? And that's all from Holly. That's all from her. And she's rolled the whole plan out. And I'm really excited for that to roll out with our first events in 2021.
That is fantastic. That is so great. I could tell there's a spirit and a vibe with your company, and both internally and for the artists. I mean, it would totally make them feel so comfortable because you guys are open and you're caring, and with the events, you want to make sure everybody feels comfortable and good. That is just so fantastic. And I also like the fact that, you know, you're open to help them out with other facets of the business. And you know, like you're saying earlier about the record deal, the almighty record deal, right? I mean, it's what every artist wants and dreams of. And you know, in my days, you know, it's something that I chased after hard, and sometimes I think too hard. How do you kind of counsel your artists to kind of find that balance? So what I mean is that a lot of artists, of course, they want their music to get out to the world. They want to share their vision, and a record label shows up and they're like, oh, you know, this is great. And they get that jolt of excitement because it could be a break. It could also not be a break, but it could be a break. So how do you help them navigate those waters and figure out what's the right decision to make?
That's a great question. I think for me, case studies. So, you know, we go, look, in the past, these record labels have been brilliant to our artists. In the past, these guys haven't been. This is why. And let them make the decision. But a leopard doesn't change their spots. I really do believe in that. Like, if there's a pattern with a record label of treating their artists like shit or not doing enough, there's a pattern of that. And you can ask ex-artists about it. And if someone's going above and beyond and doing a great service, you should be able to ask the clients and get a fantastic response. At the end of the day, there's only so much we can do. It's always going to be the musician's choice. And like you said, the first time record deal, yeah, let me sign. Like their eyes light up. I get them on a call. I just say, look, just take a minute, breathe, go through it with a fine nose, and really look at those details. And it's their decision after that.
I think
We
it's the
had
same with,
some.
I was just sorry to interrupt, Josh. I think it's the same just with like anything that they ask us. If they sit there and they're like, oh my God, and they get anything exciting, we have to really sit them down sometimes and be like, this is not worth your time. Like, please don't do this. Like, there's just some mad stuff that's they've come up with and been like, okay, I really want to do this. I've seen someone, it's worked, it's 100% worked. And you're going, okay, let's break it down, let's talk about it logically. And then when you kind of sit down and go, okay, this is from my experience as the expert of this marketing thing, this is how we would do this. And then they sit down and go, yeah, okay, I see what you're talking about. But some of the time we just go, yeah, this would be a fantastic step for you. And even if it's them taking themselves away from the business slightly and kind of moving forward, we're still like, we're going to support you, whatever. But yeah, you go basically and do your thing. But we are very careful planners, I think, and we just don't want to, we are very polite about everything. No, don't be an idiot. This, like, it's all done very kind of nicely, but yeah,
That's good.
That's like one of the like things for me as well. Like now we're getting clients from abroad. We're very polite about things, but we're very to the point. So when we're working with our clients abroad, they'll bring us loads of ideas and we go, that's great, that's terrible, why are you doing that? And they're shocked. They're a bit like, Christ, that's quite intense, or like to the point. But we're honest and transparent. That's throughout the whole business. And like, if they come with a great idea, let's implement it, let's do it. If they come with a shit idea, we'll tell them it's a shit idea, and it's up to them to prove it's wrong. But we'll still sit there and listen and take things on board.
That's great because music artists are such creative beings, as you know, and they have a lot of ideas, and they're kind of one foot on the ground and one hand in the clouds, and sometimes I'm sure they come up with some ideas that may not make sense in the real world, right?
Yeah, 100%. We've had some very interesting ones, and they're just talking, and you're on a phone call, and it's like, oh my God, this person is so invested in this. How am I going to break it down to them? How am I going to tell them that we cannot physically do this with them? It's not going to work. But as I said, like, that's the magic of having this relationship that we have between, artists and LMS member, is it's just like, they have the ideas and we have the fruition to carry it out. But obviously you do have to make compromises, and just because it maybe worked for Jay-Z does not necessarily mean that it's going to work for you as a local artist. You've got to really think about your surroundings and think about what can work for you. And that's where our expertise of going, okay, we've worked with some large artists, we've also worked with majority smaller artists. Let's take a case study from here and show them, let's start small and then build. And I think it's because they want to go a million miles an hour. And who doesn't? When you're excited, you just want to get an idea out. You just want to get it done. And you want to be successful and you want to have loads of streams. But it doesn't work like that. Marketing doesn't work like that. It's a slow and steady kind of build up. But when you do get to the top and you do it creatively and successfully, you're winning. So
Absolutely. So, I mean, with your artists that you've had, are there any particular artists that stand out, or just generally speaking too, that have characteristics that seem to help them become successful along with your company? That maybe they've got this artistic side, but they've also got this business side where they're both working in sequence, and it happens to help them.
Yeah, they need to have a skill set on both. Our best clients, most successful clients, the ones that communicate properly and take on board what we say. We did a tweet once saying 10 reasons why I haven't made it yet in the music industry. And it caused a lot of good discussion, but passionate discussion about it. And it was one of the moments where a lot of us, I think, had to look in the mirror and think, right, I've probably got 8 of these, but I definitely don't have the last 2. I really think those positive, almost harder discussions are the most proactive. I mean, on our management meetings with Beth and stuff, if I've come up with a new idea and everyone goes, yeah, okay, cool. If I come up with a new idea, and we've had this recently, and people are really voicing opinions left, right, and center, you're getting deeper and you're understanding it more, and you'll be able to ask a lot more questions. And for me, that's the characteristics we really look for. Like, they need to understand why, they need to see where they're going wrong, they need to look at case studies and evidence. to help and support that. And our best artists are ones that can sell. They can sell records, they can sell tickets, but they can also produce bloody good music, and music that works and you want to listen to. And it works on YouTube, it works on Spotify, it works on all platforms.
I think as well, one thing to mention with the clients as well is there's not one type of client. There's never one type of client. You know, everyone, and this is, I do the training, and it's very difficult to try and explain to fresh-faced members of staff that you don't know what you're going to get, you know, and we try to kind of categorize what the clients can be like. But a lot of the time you will have a client that's really good with their social media and they have a plan, but they don't have the tools, and that's where we would come in with our specialized marketing. And then you have another client that is just so passionate, but they have absolutely no clue. They're just completely head in the clouds, like, I like music, I'm quite good at it, like let's go. And I have to say, one of my clients, Harrison, he's 14 years old. He has a beautiful voice. He is fantastic. And he recently, during COVID, produced a single called Darkness, which was to raise money for Silent Minds charity, so for mental health awareness. And it was all about how, you know, during COVID, we can't see anyone, we can't touch, we can't hug, but we're all in this together. And it was beautiful. And for a 14-year-old to come up with that, I was like, you've got to go somewhere. Like, this is going somewhere. And he really had the mind of, I want to help my community. And then we had the job of being like, we really want you to be able to raise money for this charity. We're going to help you. So it was fantastic. And I think he's a fantastic individual. And that just made me think that's the kind of client that you want to work with, someone that's got the ideas, but we put it into fruition. So, yeah.
And Harrison at 14 years old was going on with a single, raised a lot of money, but also he was on major news outlets with this. I mean, talking about it and stuff, and it really gained some publicity. And outside the box thinking can really benefit in the music industry, probably more so in other industries.
Absolutely. So is there a certain type of balance that, you know, music artists that are successful should they have? I mean, you know, because one of the things that you said earlier that I so much agree with is that they spend tons of hours in, you know, the studio and working on the song and mixing and mastering and so on and so forth. And then it comes to the marketing side and it's like, oh, I'll spend a couple hours on that. What can artists do to really, you know, like have a proper balance, you know, because it's both.
Every single day, an artist that will put their heart and soul and livelihood onto a song and then just post it on Instagram at 4 o'clock on a Sunday and go, yeah, it's out in the world. It's like madness, but in a beautiful way, it's great for us because we can provide that service to stop it falling on deaf ears, which is really important. But in terms of that balance, I really think the most successful artists are probably 75% out and out musicians and 25% want to learn the marketing. I'm not saying they're experts, but they want to learn about it. So when we're doing stuff for them, they're asking why. They're finding out how to do it themselves. And what that means is they're pushing our service up because they can do more and more of it, which means we've got to become better and better to keep ourselves as the expert in that situation. And they're the ones that see the most benefit, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's a constant push, really. Like it's a balance all the time. And because as a business, as a new business, you know, you're always learning. And that's one of the things that I've come into and I've been like, this is insane. You're just constantly learning new things, new tricks of the trade, that sort of thing. But just keeping on top of things. And I think planning is so key. Obviously with us, that's our job. You know, we plan consistently. We're so logical. But when a client comes to you and they say, I want to get this release started 4 weeks in advance. And you're like, this is heaven. This is great. Because you know that you can do the job that you need to do. The worst thing is like when you get like a 2 day before and it's like, hey, so I got a single coming out in like 3 days. And you're like, oh my God. But usually most clients, they know the severities of what's going to happen if they don't. And most of the time people are quite, you know, they're putting a lot of money into these Spotify ads and everything like that. And they are kind of like, okay, I need to plan. So that we don't usually have these issues 2 days before, that sort of thing.
We've onboarded clients that have gone, I've spent £250 on a Spotify ad and I've spent £3,000 on a radio plugger and I've got nothing for it. And I just went, yeah, that's a lot of waste of money. I can't argue with you there. Like, but they don't do their research. They just go, you know, this is how to do it. Let's go ahead and do that, and don't research it. And I think, again, that's the naivety of their marketing coming out. They're so driven. They've saved up all that money, and they've, you know, absolutely just burnt through about £5,000 in no time. When, you know, our basic service is £100 a month, and that investment compared to what they've done, and they've been with us a long time now. I had a call with a guy called Aaron, one of our clients, the band called Purple Smoke. He was like, Mike, I wish I was with you a year or two earlier. Like, imagine the progress we'd do if I was there and not where I am. Even though we've done well with where he is now, we get that often, which is just a massive credit to Beth's team, because at the end of the day, that's the difference between a good and a great company. It's the people who work for you and the people that are working in the same direction to make it successful. And for me, I may be the founder of LMSUKMedia, but I was asked in an interview last week, what's your long-term goal? What's your 5-year goal? And I said that I wanted to be the worst paid member of the team. That's my goal. I want to be the worst paid member of the team.
Wow.
And they were like, what? That's not right. And I was like, that's for me, that's my passion. That's my dream.
I know exactly what you mean. You're a team player, and you are setting your ego to the side, essentially.
Success for me isn't how much money is in the bank. Success for me is how many people you can positively impact. Bottom line, that's as black and white as I can get it.
Solid. And from what you're saying, it sounds to me that it's the difference between success with what you guys are doing is the difference between a quick fix, like trying to find a radio plugger or something like that, and instead of building something, it's better to build it the right way, the proper way, instead of looking for that quick bang, right?
Literally could not have put it better myself. I think people just, if you rush and if you think money heavy, you're just not, it's not going to work. You have to think of the passion and the love you have for the business. And I've grown up around business and grown up around people growing businesses, and they've never been like, oh my God, I've got this much money coming in for myself. It's all about, okay, we've got this much coming in for the business. We can invest this in the business, you know, and those businesses are always the ones that do a lot better. And people just, you have to bear with the process. I think that's something people don't realize when they come into business. They're like, I'm going to be a businessman. And then they just fail because they don't have the time and the patience. And credit to Josh. It's just patience is key, and holding with it and getting yourself a good people around you and just surrounding yourself with positivity. And I think that's what we do really well at LMS.
I could not care less about what car I drive, where I live, any of that. I care about freedom and doing what I love, and what I love is music and helping as many people as I can. And I think from a business point of view, that no one's ego. Like, we've got purposes in the business, or values. And one of my favorite values in there is no one's too big to sweep the shed. There's not one job in LMS that's too big for me, or for an intern, or for anyone. It's all equal.
Great mindset. Great mindset. Kind of reminds me a little bit of the owner of Zappos. You know, when he started, his attention was customer happiness and keeping his team happy. And so I think that's really how you build something. And if you have that intention from the beginning, people they'll feel it. They'll know.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, massively. There's so many business idols I like look up to and read about and stuff, and it's fantastic. I'm not a rugby fan personally, but All Black New Zealand rugby team, and like how they've got a 95% win ratio in the last 100 years. They're the most successful team in the world, and their star players and stuff, they have to wash up their own dishes, they have to clean their own boots. When they retire, they have to leave the jersey in a better place. So whoever's taken their spot on the national team, they have to do a day's training with, in person, doing like physical training and online as well, which is amazing. Like, it's not about the name on the back; it's about what's, you know, the badge on the front, and that's something that really stuck with me, I think.
Wow. So tell me what's coming up for in the new year for LMS.
So on Beth's side, she's got her expansion. We're going to be looking at record labels, because they can be major clients for us, but they're going to have loads of smaller artists as well that we can help. So it's a win-win. And then on the event side, we're rolling out socially distance events across, I think we've got 8 UK cities. in March doing our social distance events, and we're going to be implementing the safe spaces and the virtual events. So there may be a few hundred people watching a show, 500-600 people, but we're also going to be filming that virtually in real time, that people can purchase online. So people from all across the world can watch.
Wow.
Yeah, we're getting to grips with the new kind of local music is what we used to, and we're kind of going into these record labels which I'm unfamiliar with, and I'm just learning as I go, and it's fantastic. I love learning. It's just one of those things that makes you feel young, and you keep going with it, and you just keep learning new things. And at the moment it's a hurdle, but we're going to get through it and we're going to succeed with it. And I'm very excited for what January is going to bring in the next year, and whatever challenges we have. You know, I think we've overcome COVID, and you know, I think that's one of those things that people would look back and be like, oh, okay, they've overcome that, what else can they overcome? So that's what I'm excited for.
Absolutely. Well, I'm very excited to see what's coming through and everything, and your artists and the upcoming events. Very inspiring. I think I'm not only impressed with your success with your artists, but who both of you are as people. Says a lot, and that's a lot of people could learn from that. So thank you so much.
Appreciate it. We're happy to speak to you and keep cracking on.
Absolutely, absolutely. So where can people find you online?
So it's at LMSUKMedia. Our website's www.lmsukmedia. You can find us, contact us. If you want advice, just free advice as a musician or in the world of business and marketing, just contact us, message us, contact us. I'm more than happy to do that. And if you are an artist out there that wants social media management, our packages start from £100 UK pounds a month, but we obviously do work internationally, and you'd get a lovely onboarding with Beth or myself, as well as some of our team members. So if you're someone that wants to build that up, then get in contact.
Yeah, don't be afraid. We don't bite. Promise.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, Beth and Josh, I want to thank you so much for being on the show. It's so much appreciated, and you've given a lot of great information and inspiration to artists and business people alike out there. And I want to say thank you so much. And to the audience listening, this should be a big inspiration for you today to hear how it's done proper, and to also, what I feel is have the right intentions from the beginning. Whether you're a musician or business person, if you have the right mindset of giving from the top, you're going to be successful. So stay tuned until the next episode, and as always, keep up the hustle. Thank you. All right, guys, I so much appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Listen,
Enjoy it.
Keep in touch. I want to hear what you guys are doing. It's you guys have got some interesting things happening. Let me know what you're doing, and I want to do a part 2 in the new year.
100%.
Yeah, I want to hear what you guys are doing, the events, your artists, and you're going to be connecting with the labels, how that's going. So let's do a part 2.
Yeah, we've got a lot more members going full time in August next year, so that'll be really kind of interesting. And like Beth said, we've basically messaged a load of record labels and gone, we'll run your social media for free. So this month, me and Beth are stressing, but learning about it, how they operate, how they work, what do they want.
Yeah,
and then in February, we'll roll that out and try and bring some of them on. Because you're helping the bigger boys and you're also helping in the small local artists as well.
Brilliant. And I mean, who doesn't like free, right? So they're going to do it, and you're just going to make the connections. So yeah, keep me updated. I want to know more. I want to see more. Any events that might be happening that I can check out, please let me know.
Appreciate that.
Awesome. Well, stay well, and be well. We'll get through this COVID sooner or later. We're all still alive and kicking.
Yeah, 100%. Stay well.
All right, guys. Thank you so much. Bye. All right. Thank you so much for checking out the Geoff Antonio Show. Make sure you click the like button, and if you like it that much, hit the subscribe button for future episodes. Make sure to check out our playlists and our links below. Until the next time, as always, Keep up the hustle.